Local news, Fox 17 News at 4 starts right now.
Now on Fox 17 News at 4, a new audit discovers flaws in the state unemployment agency's computer system. More on what they reveal coming up.
And we've had a few rain showers around last night and through the morning hours, but it's generally been a dry afternoon. What about this evening? We'll take a closer look coming up at Radar next.
A local semi-pro basketball team undergoes a transformation after their former owner dropped them before the national championship. What the new owner is saying on how it's a change for the better.
And I think that people who are people who are heartbroken right now, because trust me, hearts are breaking all over the world right now with this news, they can know that his music, he lives through his music.
Remembering music legend Prince, who has died at the age of 57. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Michelle DeSalms. It is a tragic day in the music world with the loss of one of the most talented musicians of our time. Word of Prince's death began circulating on social media earlier this afternoon, and his publicist confirmed it in a statement that read, "It is with profound sadness that I am confirming that the legendary, iconic performer Prince Rogers Nelson has died at his Paisley Park residence at the age of 57. Fans have been gathering outside his recording studio today to honor the pop star. Prince has been described as a once-in-a-lifetime artist. He was at the height of his fame in the 80s, his albums 1999 and Purple Rain cementing his place in music history. Over his career, he released 39 solo albums and continued to tour. After a concert a week ago, in fact, the singer had a medical emergency that forced his private jet to land so he could be taken to the hospital. A spokesman of the Times said he was battling the flu, but he returned to the stage the next night. An autopsy will be done to determine an exact cause of death, but right now police say it doesn't look like any foul play was involved. Again, legendary artist Prince dead at the age of 57. Kevin is in the Weather Center now with a look at the forecast today. Boy, sad news, isn't it? Everybody impacted by this.
It is. He's been around for a long time. Great guitar player, too. Yeah. I was amazed to see him do some of the solo work that he did on the guitar. I didn't realize he was that good on the guitars. But 39 albums. That's amazing. Yeah, that's incredible. That's a lot of material for one artist to come out with, Michelle. Hey, let's take a look at what's going on with the weather department. Good afternoon, everybody. We've had generally a dry afternoon. Fifth Third Ballpark. They're doing some batting practice. The game's going to get underway here probably in the not too distant future. Green grass there. It's generally been dry. They had the tarp out there this morning, but they've since removed that. Here's Muskegon. You know, we have a dense fog advisory out for over Lake Michigan. So there's clearly dense fog out there. You can see that if you're right at the immediate lake shore, or you're thinking of taking a boat ride or doing some fishing, that's what you're going to have to deal with. We'll take a look at what's going on with our radar. I got a couple of sprinkles over towards the Lansing area that are moving away from us. Other than that, that's really all that's going on here. I'll pull out to a wider perspective. Now here's that great big circulating low that's out here that's going to move to the east. There's been a couple of showers and thunderstorms that are down to our south here in northern portions of Indiana. We may see some more development here that'll roll into our southern counties, and then there's this line out ahead of the low. But even if that was to stay together and move our way, that wouldn't be into the Grand Rapids metro area for about another 6 hours or so. So the takeaway from this, if you've got some plans through the evening hours, I can't rule out a shower or a rumble of thunder cropping up, but by and large, it looks like we're going to stay mainly dry with just the chance of some scattered showers through the evening hours if you're going to any sporting events. We've jumped up to 64 in Grand Rapids. We're still in the 50s to the north and west of GR. We're in the 60s along and south of the I-94 corridor. We've had some sunshine out here in Chicago, and the clouds are thinning. So again, don't be surprised if we heat up a few more degrees. You see a little bit of sunshine. I've got 64 at 7 p.m. with partly cloudy skies, or partly sunny skies. I should say more cloudiness than anything else. Variably cloudy at 9 p.m. Maybe a shower moving on through the area, but a widespread, heavy, prolonged rain or any severe weather I just don't see happening. We'll detail more of what's going to be going on here with a dry weekend and some sunshine coming up in the main weather forecast, Michelle, in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
All righty.
Police continue to investigate an overnight homicide in Albion. Officers say 58-year-old Ernest Embry was found dead on East Pine Street. He'd been shot multiple times. Two men are now wanted for questioning: Tommy Evans and James Nelson. Nelson. If you know anything, you're asked to call the number right there on your screen. There is new information surrounding the murder-suicide case involving a Michigan radio host. Denise Bone Stewart and her husband Eric were found dead at their home in Berrien County on Tuesday by their children, who called 911. Investigators say Denise had been shot multiple times in the torso before her husband turned the gun on himself. Denise was a host at 98.3 The Coast and had been a news reporter for WSBT in South Bend, Indiana. Investigators say her husband recently put in his 2-week notice at his job at the D.C. nuclear plant. They say he didn't show any signs of unusual behavior there. The couple had 3 children. They are now staying with relatives. According to WSJM, funeral arrangements have been made for Denise. A service will be held this Sunday at the First Church of God in St. Joe. Meanwhile, a GoFundMe page has been set up for her children. You can find that on our website, fox17online.com. Just one day before the man accused of shooting 8 people in Kalamazoo is due in court, we are learning more about the proceedings that are set to take place. Michigan State Police say the Forensic Center has completed its psychiatric evaluation of Jason Dalton and recommend he is competent to stand trial. Ultimately, a judge will decide whether to accept that recommendation. The shooting spree in February left 6 people dead, 2 others wounded. Of course, we will bring you more from court tomorrow. This weekend, family and friends are coming together for a fundraiser to benefit a woman who was attacked with acid. The fundraiser for Cheryl Keach will be held this Sunday at 1 o'clock at BAM Entertainment Center in Holland. Last month, you remember, Keach was hospitalized after police say her boyfriend poured acid on her at their home in Allegan County. The money raised from bowling, a 50-50 raffle, and a silent auction will go toward her recovery and medical bills. You can find more information and a GoFundMe page set up for her on our website, fox17online.com. Another scathing report out today on the state's unemployment insurance agency. It is just the latest in a story Fox 17 first broke months ago. Today, the state auditor general released a report showing major flaws in the system and how it diagnoses fraud cases. Fox 17 problem solver Darren Cunningham live in the newsroom now with the latest on this. Darren.
Yes, good afternoon, Michelle. It's actually the second audit to come out this year on the unemployment agency. It came out this morning, up what we've been reporting all along and what viewers have been telling us for almost a year now. In it, the Auditor General says when it comes to accusing people of fraud, the agency fails to let people know what exactly they've done wrong and that this needs to change, especially since significant penalties are involved. In many cases, as we've reported, the person has done nothing wrong and was still fined thousands of dollars. Also, the auditor reviewed a sample of notices sent out by the agency to citizens. It found that the agency failed to let people know that a fraud determination was automatic if they don't respond. Instead, a decision would be made based on available information. Out of a sample of 60 people, the agency fined 22 of them nearly $200,000 total. I spoke with the agency director about the audit this afternoon.
For the most part, we agree with the findings of the Auditor General, and the agency has either resolved or in the process of resolving issues noted in the finding. The agency continuously reviews and adjusts its systems, process, and customer service to ensure customers are provided the most relevant and timely information concerning their unemployment insurance claim.
Now, also today, another hearing took place in Lansing on the first audit. That audit came out in January. Lawmakers were not happy about the results. So coming up on Fox 17 News at 5 and 6 o'clock, we will hear from lawmakers as well as more from the Unemployment Agency's director. But for now, live in the newsroom, Darren Cunningham, Fox 17 News.
All right, Darren, thank you. A woman suffered minor injuries after a car hit a building this morning. It happened about 8 at the E&A grocery on East Apple Avenue in Muskegon. Crews say the brakes on the woman's car went out and she crashed right into the building. A cashier inside was hit by a shelf that fell. She suffered a cut on her arm and was experiencing some back pain. There's no word on if the driver was injured or if she'll face any charges. The Flint water crisis has landed on this year's Time 100 list. Pediatric Dr. Mona Hanna-Artesia and Virginia Tech researcher Mark Edwards were listed at number 20 on the list of most influential people. The two are seen as the whistleblowers for the crisis who first brought the lead issues to light. Hanna-Artesia issued a statement today saying she's humbled to be included on this list, but says the most influential people in her world are those in Flint who are facing their 3rd year now with unsafe water. The list was released just one day after felony charges were issued against 2 state workers and a city worker for their handling of the crisis. Attorney General Bill Schuette says those charges are just the beginning. It's that time of year again as organizers prepare for the 39th annual Fifth Third Riverbank Run that takes place May 14th. There are some changes and new additions that were rolled out earlier today for this year. Each participant will now have to use a clear gear check bag provided by the race to store their items. Of course, this is being done as a safety precaution. Organizers say they've also decided to make a bigger effort to document the race. They're actually going to be taking extensive video and photos during the event. All those images will then be uploaded to their website. Organizers also rolled out a new phone app called Race Joy. Family and friends can log on and track their runners. They can track their location throughout the duration of the race. Even has extra features like a cheer button.
The really nice and fun thing about this is you can actually send a cheer to somebody who's doing the race. So if you see that they're out on the course and a spot where maybe they tend to get tired a little bit, you can send them, hit the cheer button and send them a cheer on that part of the course, maybe give them a little energy, get through the next couple of miles.
Organizers also tell us they are still looking for volunteers, so if you're interested, you can find out more information on our website, Fox17online.com. A multi-million-dollar investment announced today in Muskegon. Mercy Health unveiled its final plans for a new medical center on their campus on Sherman Boulevard. The new center will be 9 stories tall and include more than 260 beds. It is a $271 million project that will bring all of Mercy Health Muskegon's inpatient services together in one location.
This building consolidates all acute care facilities in Muskegon. Mercy Health Muskegon is a result of 2 mergers in the past, bringing all 3 hospitals in Muskegon together. And what this does is bring us all into one building, which is the final step of about 25 years of merger in Muskegon.
The entire project is expected to be complete by June of 2019. Once it opens, the Hackley campus will be used as an urgent care facility. And that wasn't the only big announcement along the lakeshore today. Coming up, we're going to tell you about a major step forward for renovation plans in Grand Haven's Waterfront Stadium. It's a monthly series to get a group of poets to represent West Michigan in a national competition. We'll have more on the Mentally Distilled Poetry Slam.
And Michelle, our live webcams showing dense fog out over Lake Michigan. We still have the chance of seeing a couple of scattered showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm over the next few hours. We'll take a closer look at radar and conditions improving for the weekend. Your Fox 17 forecast is next.
You're watching Fox 17 News.